Ladies and gentlemen, esteemed members of the audience, we gather today to delve into a case that has captivated and confounded the public for over a century, the chilling tale of Lizzie Borden. The events of August 4th, 1892, in Fall River, Massachusetts, remain shrouded in mystery, a testament to the enduring power of ambiguity and the human fascination with the dark corners of our nature. We will explore the facts, the theories, and the enduring legacy of a crime that refuses to be forgotten. The Borden house at 92 2nd Street was a symbol of Victorian respectability, a facade that concealed a simmering cauldron of family tensions. Andrew Borden, a successful businessman, was known for his frugality and stern demeanor. His second wife, Abby, was often perceived as cold and distant. Lizzie, the younger daughter, and her elder sister, Emma, lived under the shadow of these strained relationships. This already tense atmosphere was further exacerbated by the growing suspicion that Andrew was changing his will, potentially leaving the daughters with less than they felt they deserved. On that sweltering August morning, the Borden household was a scene of apparent normalcy. Andrew Borden left for his morning walk, returning around 10:45 a.m. Abby Borden was engaged in household chores. Lizzie was reportedly in the barn, searching for fishing tackle. Bridget Sullivan, the family maid, was also present. The first victim was Andrew Borden. He was found lying on the living room sofa, his face brutally mutilated by repeated blows from a sharp instrument, likely a hatchet. The alarm was raised and neighbors rushed to the scene. Shortly after, Abby Borden's body was discovered upstairs, in the guest room, also bearing the marks of a violent attack. The immediate suspicion fell upon Lizzie. She was present in the house at the time of the murders. Her demeanor, described by some as unusually calm, raised further questions. The absence of any signs of forced entry suggested that the perpetrator was someone familiar with the household. The investigation that followed was fraught with inconsistencies and unanswered questions. The police, led by Marshal Rufus Hilliard, meticulously examined the crime scene, but the lack of forensic technology at the time hampered their efforts. The suspected murder weapon, a hatchet, was found in the basement, clean but potentially bearing traces of blood. Lizzie's testimony during the inquest was riddled with contradictions. She claimed to have been in the barn when her father was killed, but her timeline was inconsistent. She also spoke of receiving a note from a sick friend, but this note was never found. Her behavior, including the burning of a dress a few days later, further fueled suspicion. Despite the lack of concrete evidence, Lizzie Borden was arrested and charged with the murders of her father and stepmother. The prosecution built its case on circumstantial evidence, painting Lizzie as a cold and calculating woman, driven by greed and resentment. The trial of Lizzie Borden was a media sensation, drawing attention from across the nation. The courtroom was packed with spectators, eager to witness the unfolding drama. The prosecution presented its case, highlighting Lizzie's inconsistent statements, her alleged motive, and the circumstantial evidence linking her to the crime. The defense, led by Andrew Jennings, countered with a strategy that focused on Lizzie's character and the lack of direct evidence. They portrayed her as a respectable, religious woman, incapable of committing such a heinous crime. They argued that the prosecution's case was based on speculation and prejudice. The defense also raised the possibility of an intruder, suggesting that the real killer had escaped unnoticed. They emphasized the absence of blood on Lizzie's clothing, despite the brutal nature of the attacks. After a lengthy and highly publicized trial, the jury deliberated for a short period before delivering a verdict of not guilty. The courtroom erupted in cheers, and Lizzie Borden was acquitted. Despite the acquittal, the public remained divided. Many believed that Lizzie had indeed committed the murders, while others maintained her innocence. The case became a symbol of the limitations of the justice system and the power of public opinion. Lizzie and her sister Emma moved into a large house on French Street, which they named Maplecroft. However, their relationship deteriorated, and they eventually parted ways. Lizzie lived a relatively secluded life until her death in 1927. Over the years, numerous theories have emerged, attempting to explain the unsolved mystery. Some believe that Lizzie acted alone, driven by a sudden rage. Others suggest that she had an accomplice, possibly her sister Emma or Bridget Sullivan. The theory that Emma was involved has been explored, but there is little evidence to support it. Bridget Sullivan, the maid, was also considered a suspect, but her alibi and lack of motive made her an unlikely culprit. Another theory posits that an unknown intruder committed the murders, but the lack of forced entry in the absence of any witnesses casts doubt on this possibility. Some also theorize about a male relative, or even a local butcher, but these theories also lack evidence. The psychological profile of Lizzie Borden has also been a subject of intense scrutiny. Some experts have suggested that she may have suffered from a mental disorder, such as borderline personality disorder or dissociative identity disorder, which could explain her erratic behavior. However, these are merely speculations. The Lizzie Borden case has had a profound impact on popular culture. It has been the subject of numerous books, films, plays, and songs. The story has become a cautionary tale about the dark side of human nature and the dangers of repressed emotions. The enduring fascination with the case stems from its ambiguity and the lack of a definitive answer. The absence of a clear motive and the conflicting evidence have allowed for endless speculation and interpretation. The Lizzie Borden story also reflects the social and cultural norms of the Victorian era. The emphasis on respectability, the rigid gender roles, and the patriarchal family structure all played a role in shaping the events of that fateful day. In conclusion, the Lizzie Borden case remains one of the most enigmatic and enduring mysteries in American history. The brutal murders of Andrew and Abby Borden, the sensational trial, and the acquittal of Lizzie Borden have all contributed to the case's enduring appeal. Despite the passage of time, the questions surrounding the case remain unanswered. Was Lizzie Borden a cold-blooded killer, or was she the victim of a miscarriage of justice? Did she act alone, or did she have an accomplice? These questions may never be fully resolved. Beyond the surface of Victorian propriety, the Borden household was a pressure cooker. Andrew Borden, a self-made man, was known for his shrewdness and, some would say, his miserliness. This frugality extended to his family, creating an atmosphere of resentment, particularly from his daughters. They felt deprived of the luxuries enjoyed by their peers, leading to a sense of isolation and bitterness. Abby Borden's role in the family further complicated matters. She was Andrew's second wife, and the daughters never fully accepted her. They perceived her as an interloper, a gold digger who had usurped their mother's place. This resentment was palpable, and it contributed to the overall tension within the household. The daughters felt that Abby was influencing Andrew's decisions, potentially jeopardizing their inheritance. The Lizzie Borden case serves as a reminder of the limitations of human understanding and the enduring power of mystery. It is a story that continues to fascinate and intrigue, a testament to the enduring power of the unsolved. As we reflect on this case, we are reminded that sometimes the truth remains elusive, hidden in the shadows of the past. Thank you.